This video is sponsored by Paradox Interactive. Check out the link in the video description to learn more about Empire of Sin. How's it going, nerds? Welcome to Empire of Sin. I certainly hope you're having a fantastic day, because I'll tell you what, I am excited. I'm excited to be jumping in for a first look at this new IP from Paradox Interactive, developed by Romero Games. Yes, that Romero Games. This right here is a turn-based strategy game. You take on the role of a crime boss in the 1920s in Chicago during the Prohibition era, and essentially it's your job to try and take over Chicago. Now, turn-based strategy games, I will be completely honest, are not my strong suit. If you know this channel, then you might be aware that I'm more about management and creative games. And if you don't know this channel, then hello, I'm usually more about management and creative games. Now, with that said, I've been curious about Empire of Sin since I first heard about it. I thought it was a really interesting setting for this kind of game, which I will be completely upfront with you is gonna draw comparisons to the likes of XCOM. But to Empire of Sin's credit, I have put 16 hours into this game over the space of about a day, maybe a little bit more, probably about a day and a half. I couldn't do that with XCOM. And that's not any discredit to XCOM, I just couldn't really do it. It just didn't click the way this did. I think the setting plays a really big part of what I love about this, as well as the fact that I can sort of just saunter my way through it at times. I'm a bit of an idiot when it comes to these games, but it has enough customization in terms of difficulty that I can make it work for me. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's stop talking about it. This is a video, of course, a picture says 1,000 words. Let's dive in and see how you would start a new game, and then let's take a little bit of a look at a more advanced game. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to select your boss, and you are going to select your empire, as it were. They kind of go hand in hand. Each boss is the boss of a specific empire. So Stephanie Sinclair is the head of the Card Sharks, for example. Every boss has an ability. Every empire has 2 bonuses, and there's always a diplomatic bonus as well. For example, Stephanie Sinclair has the Firing Squad boss ability, which means we don't get our hands dirty. Make your allies do it. At your command, any friendly or allied characters that are within range of you will open fire at your selected target, which sounds awesome, to be totally honest. I didn't know Stephanie could do that. The Empire bonuses for the Card Sharks, plain and simple. The brewery storage upgrade cost is 20% less. Now, what that means is that the cost of upgrading the storage in my brewery, believe it or not, is 20% less. I think that might have been kind of obvious. I probably didn't need to explain that. I just like to point out the obvious, just in case you weren't aware. And then casino security cost is 20% less as well. Now, that's not the upgrade cost. That is the general running cost of security in a casino. Different from the upgrade cost here. So the cost of upgrading is 20% less. The cost of maintaining security is 20% less. That's what those 2 bonuses do. And then the diplomatic bonus for the Card Sharks is roll of the dice. Neighborhood threat generation when opening a casino is 50% less. Essentially, it just means that the neighborhood is going to feel less threatened when you open a casino. That's essentially what that comes down to. Now, you do have other bosses as well. You have Al Capone, you have Frankie Donovan. I think for the purpose of demonstration, perhaps we just go for... Let's go for Al Capone. I think that's probably fair enough. So we'll confirm that. Al Capone of the outfit. And then we get to set up what the game is going to be. Now, we can go anywhere from 10 down to 3 neighborhoods. I think we'll just do 10 neighborhoods because we can. We can go up to 13 enemy factions. I think we'll just keep it 10. And difficulty goes from associate to maid to lieutenant to underboss to boss. Maybe for the purpose of demonstration, we just go for boss, because I'm going to be completely honest with you, this entire video is not going to be Al Capone. We are going to load into a save that I've been running for a little while that is going to be a Let's Play save here on the channel, so it will have some spoilers, but it's beside the point. Anyway, we'll go ahead and start the game. And what we get when we do this is a little bit of context. So March 17th, 1920, Al Capone arrives in Chicago. He left New York to make a name for himself, a name no one would forget. And then
Good evening, sir.
we get a little bit of context. So we're thrown into sort of this cutscene sort of Mass Effect style where they'll say something and you can respond to it. I don't know why Mass Effect is the first game that I compare this to. There's a lot of games with dialogue trees. Fallout does it as well, but that's besides the point. Anyway, the cab driver says, "Evening, sir. You said Chinatown, right?" I can essentially respond to this in a way that's going to encourage conversation, or I can just say, "Yeah, take me straight there." Now, if I say, "Yeah, take me straight there," this guy is going to give me a little further context for some stuff that he might want me to do. But again, for the purpose of sort of getting into it, we'll skip over this conversation for the time being. And now we get dropped off on the street. Before long, every house on this street will know the name Capone. And then we get get dropped into, is the phrase I was looking for there. We get dropped into the game, and we should probably have a little bit of a look around. So, this right here is essentially the open world that we're dealing with. We can go ahead and zoom out a little further, and we can actually get a world map, and we can really see what we're dealing with. And if we go further, we can see, obviously, all of the neighborhoods. We can see the entire world map as well. Now, we're currently in Chinatown, which is about as south as we can go right now. And we currently own a few things. We have this right here, which is our safe house. We have this right here, which is our Speakeasy, which is our bar. We have this right here, which is our brewery. Now, we have got some other things around here as well. For example, we can see that there's a Speakeasy right there. These yellow buildings are buildings that we can access one way or another. And this right here is a safe house of an unknown faction. So there is another faction in this neighborhood that I'm kind of curious about. So what we can do is actually right-click on that taxi. We can travel there. And, well, apparently we don't want to do that. Let's try that again. Let's right-click on the taxi and travel there, and we've met the alley cats. Now, we have some choices to make here. We can go ahead and we can threaten, we can begin combat, we can request a sit down. I think what we'll do just to maintain the peace is request a sit down, which is going to be over at the corner there at that Speakeasy. Now, we can see quite clearly that the alley cats have a brothel there, they have a Speakeasy there, they have a brewery, they have another Speakeasy. And I can also notice that I have started with absolutely no money. That's interesting. I've started other games in Associate, which is the easiest difficulty, and you start with, well, frankly, you start with $30,000. I wasn't aware that starting on Boss started you out broke. But that's fine. There are different ways to make money around here. We have a couple of missions we can do. So, for example, we could go and, you know, deal with these thugs, for example, which I guess we should probably do. Now they're right there. It looks like one thug. So this, oh, it's three thugs. Oh boy. Oh, we've also met the Vice Kings. Sure, let's request a sit down for that. I guess what we could probably do is let's run away for a second because we do need to deal with these thugs as a bit of a mission. And this is a good way to demonstrate combat, I suppose. We'll deal with them in just a second. I should probably mention that you just right-click to move around and all that stuff, and then you can right-click to interact with things as well. It's all done through right-clicking, which you can do from this view, or you can zoom way out and do from the map view as well. I kind of like to go back and forth between both, but, you know, personal preference and all that. The game can essentially be played from this view right here, though, which I think is pretty cool. Anyway, we need to deal with these thugs, and it's going to be an interesting way to demonstrate combat. We might end up in a situation here where it's going to be these three thugs versus Al Capone versus, well, there's police there as well. We probably don't want to do anything until they get away because we will drag them into the fight as well. But we might find ourselves dragging these alley cat guards into the fight. Although if they're going to come around the corner, well, actually, we're going to have a pretty interesting setup here for this fight. So, you can see at the bottom middle of the screen, we have an ambush button. Let's bring Al Capone a little bit closer. Let's set up an ambush. And essentially, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start fighting these white hand guards. Now, This is where the XCOM comparison is going to come into play. In fact, let's exit ambush mode and just set up a little bit better. Just very, very quickly. We'll go here and then ambush them. In fact, no, we'll leave ambush mode, because if I don't, I'm going to accidentally shoot those guards, or the guys that I want on my side, the alley cat guards. Now, like I said, this is where the XCOM comparison is going to come into play. We have our abilities down here. It's obviously turn-based combat. Now, I kind of want to try using Al's ability, which is this right here, the Rain of Fire, because I think that's going to be pretty good. So let's just use it, plain and simple, and we'll see if we can Rain of Fire on these guards. See if it does any damage whatsoever. Come on, Al. There we go. All right. So we did a crit on one of them. We killed him. If they move, it will also kill them. And there we go. I'm pretty sure I had to talk to them. I am pretty sure I was supposed to talk to them and not just kill them, but here we are. Now, who are we aiming at here? We're aiming at this police officer. Yeah, so we did actually drag the police officers into this, which is not exactly ideal, if we're completely honest. So what I'm going to do, to be a little bit sneaky, is I'm actually going to have Al move away from combat, because what we can do is go over to these white squares and use that as a means to escape combat. Okay, so now that we've reached the edge of combat, we can just move into the square, and then we can hit this to escape combat, and we should have a little bit of an update on what went on. Now, we did get no loot. There was no money gained there. Obviously, Al Capone escaped. He was my only character, so we can go ahead and continue. And I've escaped back to my safe house, and I completed that mission as well and got a little bit of notoriety, which obviously gives us another mission as well. So a warm reunion. We can go and speak with this guard if we happen to want to do that. But I'm not really too interested in doing that. Although it is probably worth pointing out, like I said, escape back to the safe house. You can go in here, just as you can go into any of these other buildings as well. So if I wanted to, I could tell Al to go outside and go into this speakeasy here. So we can take a little bit of a look and see what's going on. It is, well, it's all right. It's not a terrible looking place. It's not exactly super luxurious, but it's not awful. Now, you might be wondering what this blue icon is. This right here is Hugh Miller. That icon means if I wanted to, I could hire him, but I don't have the fee of $3,150 to do that. Now, that's not the only way you can hire people. There are other ways to do it. For example, up here in the top left, you have your little black book. This is everybody that we can hire. So we have Maria Rodriguez, we have Gibby Willard, Hugh Miller, Grover Monks, all the way up to the cleaner Natalie Warren, and they all have relationships with different people as well. So Grover, for example, loves Minerva. Grover absolutely hates Dominic Court, and Grover happens to like Ray Monks. So you have that kind of back and forth, that kind of relationship between all of them. That has various effects in what they may or may not do. For example, this fella here, Clyde Malone, happens to love Jazz Murphy. Now, what that means is that Clyde will not attack Jazz Murphy, and that's something that actually came into play during a Let's Play series of this game that is coming up on the channel in the near future, and that's something you have to be mindful of, because if I'm not mindful of it, what's going to happen is that if I was to kill Jazz, for example, Clyde might leave and never come back. So that is something to be mindful of, the relationship between your various gangsters. They can be your associates, they can be moles, they can be advisors and underbosses and things like that. But again, that's all stuff to be mindful of as you're going through the game. That's stuff that's going to take a while to happen as you're going through the game on a higher difficulty. So, to, I think, better demonstrate combat and to demonstrate what is possible, albeit on a lower difficulty, let's go ahead and load up my Let's Play save, which is going to have some spoilers in it for the Let's Play series of this game that is starting shortly after this video goes out. This, what I'm about to show you, takes place after episode 8 of that series and before episode 9 of that series. And here we are. In this particular save, we are the Vice Kings, led by this fella right here, Daniel McKee Jackson. You can see at the top of the screen, a bunch of stats have certainly changed. I've got over $100,000, making $12,000 per week. I have over 1,100 barrels of alcohol, making 36 per week, and you can see the breakdown on that. We have a lot of whiskey. We're actually losing some premium, which I probably want to fix. I don't know. I don't even know what this mission was. I'm going to be completely honest, but whatever it was. I've got some notoriety, which is 678 in this case. Whatever the case, that's probably what changed. So we're up to booming. All right, so this is something we need to deal with as well. I'm throwing a lot of information at you here. A lot of this, to be totally honest, I'm not gonna explain in super amounts of depth, because this isn't supposed to be, this isn't a review, this isn't an in-depth guide to the game. This is sort of a, here's a broad stroke of what you can do in Empire of Sin. Here's what I happen to enjoy about it. You know, here's some examples of things working one way or another. So, that's your alcohol. Alcohol, I should probably have pointed out, is essentially the, well, it's the blood supply to your empire. It's what makes you your money. It's what's going to get people coming into your speakeasies. It will generate a bit of extra income from things like brothels and the like, essentially. Now, I have certainly been busy in this save. This right here is South Loop. It is one of the neighborhoods that we have available. And, well, quite frankly, I own most of it. There are a few of these places here which are thug-occupied rackets, which I could go and take over if I really wanted to. We have 2 rackets over here owned by the Jenna crime family, which is another empire in the game. But if I really wanted to, I could just go and take any of these over. Now, you might have noticed there is a bit of a crowd around Daniel McKee Jackson there. Okay. Those are some of my gangsters. I have a couple more of them, but they are off doing other things. For example, I have one, I believe, in a safe house over this way in Little Italy. We have Nora Quinn, who is the lieutenant of Little Italy. And then up here in East Pilsen, I believe not East Pilsen, sorry, Chinatown. We have this fella, Eddie Callahan, who is the lieutenant of Chinatown. Now, if we zoom out a little bit, you can certainly see some stats for all of these locations. South Loop, for example, we've got some bonuses. We don't have a lieutenant assigned to a safe house, which is fine. We have got some missions, but we can also see that I'm the neighborhood owner. It is run down. The preferred drink is rack. And then we can get an idea of how many customers there are, how much earnings are going on, how many rackets there are. We can see the same with East Pilsen, which is mine, which is also booming. Same with Chinatown, it's mine. Basically, you can take over neighborhoods, is what you can do. If you really want to. You can go in, you can take over neighborhoods. Now, let's have a little bit of a look around the South Loop, because I do want to sort of show a little bit more combat. I want to take this place here, so let's go ahead and travel to it. And plain and simple, we're just going to attack it. It's just a big old warehouse. A gang war has broken out. The Jenna crime family has had enough of the Diamond Pierces. Okay. Well, fair enough. Good luck to both sides. I couldn't care less. Now, I want to attack this derelict building. And what we're going to see here is that, well, for example, that person there is Maria. She has shoot first as a trait, so immediately kicks into Overwatch and kills that guy. Now, we go through our various turns. Let's go ahead and move Daniel up to here. And let's have Daniel try and shoot this fella. We've got a 96% chance of doing it, which will probably kill him. So let's take that chance. And he's dead. Nice and simple. Now, Daniel gets to move again. So let's move Daniel into this spot. We'll keep him in cover so he doesn't get shot by anyone up there. And now we're on to our next person, which is R down here. Now, R has a view of that fella, apparently. Interesting. 79% chance of hitting. I think we'll take that chance. It seems pretty good. And there we go. He's dead. And now the thugs get to move around a little bit, or at least this single thug gets to move around a little bit. Now let's move Marlena up to that spot. We'll get her into cover by those barrels and get ready for whatever comes next. We've got Clyde Malone himself. I think what we can do with him is move him into... I think we'll move him into that spot and see if he can take a shot at the fella behind the wall. Is that going to be an option? Yes, it is. 90% chance to kill him. Let's take that chance. Clyde, can you do it? Yes, you can. Fantastic. All right. So now some more thugs move around. This guy's not really going to do too much to put me down. But this is essentially combat in this game. And on a super low difficulty, which is what this is, I need to stress that. This is a very, very low difficulty run. Combat is easy. It is very easy, and it does stay very easy, especially once you start making tremendous amounts of money. You can essentially hire anybody, and it kind of continues to get easier. Again, super low difficulty. Who are we shooting at here? 40% chance to hit that guy. You know what? I don't think I want to take that. Jazz Murphy has some serious distance and movement, though. Good lord. We'll move Jazz up into that corner. But the point I'm making is that combat on a low difficulty does stay low difficulty. And it does snowball a little bit. I'm not complaining about that. I kind of like it. It's sort of a really fun power trip, if I'm completely honest. But the point I'm making is essentially that you start making a lot of money. You hire more gangsters, and combat just, again, it stays easy. For example, Maria, we came in here and immediately killed a guy. We had Daniel immediately kill a guy. R immediately killed a guy. This 100% chance on burst fire to kill a guy who was admittedly quite close and stood out in the open. But as your characters level up, it's honestly satisfying. It's really not a complaint. It's genuinely quite satisfying to have this happen. A 99% chance to hit that guy, and we got him. Fantastic. This fella's moving up with his shotgun. Is he going to try and shoot? No, he's going to heal that person, apparently. Okay. Well, Marlena, if you wouldn't mind, I would like you to... Let's see, what gun have you got? An Auto 5 shotgun. We could have a shotgun blast. We could have you throw a knife. Honestly, I kind of want to see you throw a knife. So, let's go for the knife throw and see if you can get him. Oh, you missed. Wow, okay. I'm actually slightly disappointed. All right, shoot him then. And you missed again. All right.
Oh, shit.
Okay. I might have spoke too soon. Combat is easy, apparently. Good to know. All right, Clyde, let's get this guy. There we go. That's what we want to see. All right, then Grover, I guess. I don't want to waste a turn putting someone down that's already downed. This fella, for example, 3 turns until he bleeds out. So Grover, let's put this guy down. There we go. Thank you. And Maria, let's have you move up and see if we can get you to deal with that guy. I don't think you're going to have line of sight. You do not. Okay. Well, we could put you in Overwatch, I guess. So if he does come into your line of fire, you can deal with him. Who is this? Jazz, kill that guy for me. There we go. And again, you know, nice and simple. All right. Oh, this guy's taking a couple of shots at Daniel there. He missed both, but that's all right. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Daniel has a trait, by the way, that lets him return fire, so that's kind of what's going on there. Now, let's put this guy down. 100% chance of hitting him. And he's done. Not bad. Now, Daniel, let's move you up to that bit of cover. We get R coming in next, who I guess we could put that guy down. I guess we can move up and put that guy down. Let's go for a cheeky little execution up here. Ooh, it's with a gun too. I've actually never seen that animation. I've always seen an execution done with a straight razor. That's new to me. All right. Can we kill this guy? 35% chance. There it is. And at this point, I believe that's job done. Yeah. So we got some money. We got nearly $1,000 from that. We got some brass knuckles. We got some bandages. Those are items that we can equip and use. But for the time being, let's take over this racket. We have some choices as well. Now, if we have a little look, we are probably in need of, let's see. Well, we're consuming, I think we might be, we're not consuming, but we're staying pretty even on premium alcohol there. So let's turn this into a brewery. Although a speakeasy of this size would probably make some money, but we're going to go for a brewery just to demonstrate a couple of things. So we can rename it to the Fishmonger's Yards, which is fine by me. So the inside of it looks like this at the minute. And essentially, we've got some things we can upgrade, right? So we want to be making premium alcohol. So we want to go ahead and upgrade the alcohol quality. We are currently making swill. We want to make premium. So let's go ahead and upgrade this, which is going to take 25 days, or I can rush it for 1,500 bucks, which I'm going to do. We can go up to top shelf and rush that. We can go up to premium and rush that. So now it's able to make premium alcohol. I want to go ahead and have a bit more production out of here, so we'll rush that. And we can see it's upgraded a little bit. It's a little bit nicer looking, which is fantastic. Let's go ahead and get a bit more security on this, since it's a fairly high-profile place. Let's get a bit more storage on this as well. Let's go for a bit more production again. And let's do some deflection so that people don't detect it that much. Now, we have just spent a lot of money on this, but that's fine. That is completely fine by me. As we can see, it's a little bit nicer looking. It's got some good things going on. It's going to be a little bit expensive to run this place, but the reason it's important to have this set up nicely is because obviously we're still not actually producing premium. But if we go up in here to alcohol info, we can see production. Now, this place here is called what? This is Fishmonger's Yards. So if we go to here in South Loop, we can go ahead and say start making premium for me. And it's able to make 48 barrels, which is kind of fantastic. That's some fantastic production. So there we go, plus 48 on premium. Now, the reason that's important, the reason it's important to stay on top of what's being consumed, or on top of alcohol production, is because of what is being consumed. So, if we have a look in the left here, production of this right here, which is whiskey, is 29. We are consuming 2. So we're, we have a fair bit of a surplus there. This right here, I believe, is, I want to say premium. Production is 89, consumption is 41. This is top shelf, production is 21, consumption 15. This is rack, 70, 65, and swill, 2 and 0. So essentially, different neighborhoods are gonna want different drinks. For example, we can see that because Chinatown is bustling, Chinatown now wants premium. We were serving it top shelf, but it's better than it was, so we're going to go ahead and increase that to now be premium. And East Pilsen, being booming, now wants whiskey. So for example, we can now see that, well, we're not producing enough whiskey, which is a bit of an issue. So what that says to me is we should probably bring the production of premium down a little bit. We're producing too much of it, 89 when only using 25. So if we go back to here and we go to Fishmonger's Yards, we can upgrade it again. So let's see, Fishmonger's Yards. Let's go ahead and upgrade you to be able to produce whiskey, and we'll rush that. Now what we can do is go back to this menu. We're still not producing enough, but Fishmonger's Yards, start producing whiskey. Now we're producing enough. So now everybody's covered, everybody's happy, and we can see that, for example, when this place is booming and wants its whiskey, it's making a lot of money. East Pilsen there making $7,500 of income. South Loop is run down, but we own so much that they're making a lot of money as well. So that's pretty good. That is pretty good. Fulton Market, for example, is it's only consuming 1 barrel of whiskey, but it's making a bit of money. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's go ahead. Let's grab my people and let's head to Fulton Market and take a little bit of a look around, because we don't own much up there, but they want whiskey, so we could probably have some fun. Now, I reckon what we'll do is we will go ahead and travel to... That's a decently sized building. That's a decently sized building, but I do want to do something a little bit different combat-wise here. Let's go ahead and travel to here. So, the reason I want to travel to here is because I want to go ahead and these guys want to trade. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to head up here. It's what we're going to do. Now, these buildings here, these light blue ones, there's something to keep in mind about them. They are smaller empires in a way. They don't necessarily have a defined boss to them. They're sort of smaller enemies to deal with. They're quite fun to deal with. They're quite easy to deal with. But that's what they are. That's why you'll see, for example, this is the bloody Minas. This is the Dark Hues. So they're all the same color because they are, you know, smaller, kind of insignificant empires. And the Diamond Pierces there is another one of those smaller empires. Now, just for demonstration, I am going to travel back to this place. This is owned by the bloody Minas, and it's a speakeasy. I want to go ahead and enter this place. I want to have a bit of a look around because it's not so bad. It's kind of nice in here. But there's another reason I kind of wanted to come in here. I want to go ahead and I want to move to the middle of the room, and I want to go ahead and press Control, and I'm going to ambush them. Is what I'm going to do. So we're in a spot here where Daniel, you're going to kill that guard. It does, you know, make me confirm that I want to do that, but we are going to do it. We have R here, who is going to kill that guard. And then we have Daniel, who can go ahead and kill that guard as well. Now, having done that and killed all of them, this is now mine. So I can take it over, I can make it a speakeasy. It's going to be Serendipity is the name of it, and this is now mine. The reason I wanted to do that is because now we should see that, yeah, the consumption in Fulton Market has gone up a little bit because we took over another speakeasy, which we can go ahead and upgrade as well. So we can see all of the stats on the left here, but what we can do is upgrade ambience, which will give us a bit more income. So let's do that. And it should change the interior a little bit. It absolutely did. We now have a band. Let's go ahead and let's see. Let's zoom back in so I can see it. No, I want to zoom back in so I can see it. There we go. I want to upgrade the ambience again. And I want to upgrade the ambience again. So now it's real fancy in here. And I want to upgrade it again. So there we go. We can also go ahead and upgrade the word of mouth to bring more people here, which I don't hate the idea of. And we want to maybe have a bit more security around here, so we'll go ahead and just spam upgrade that and upgrade some deflections. And I have a lot of money here, so I can kind of afford to do this. But what we've now got is a really, really nice club. A really nice club. We'll go ahead and leave it, though. And I'm curious to see what kind of money it might be making at this point, if any. Let's see. So Fulton Market, yeah, it's not really... I mean, $788 is not bad from one club, but yeah. So that's Serendipity. That is now mine. It has a good amount of security. It, you know, oh my god, I don't want these deals. Get out of here. Has a good amount of security. It's gonna make me some good money. It's obviously consuming whiskey, which we are making plenty of. So no worries there. Now, you might have noticed from the 2 bits of combat that we did get some items. It is probably worth talking about that. You can absolutely go into this menu and you can outfit your boss with different things. So for example, you know, if I wanted to change his gun to something in here, I can absolutely do that. But I like that he has this Thompson at the moment. We can go to Maria, for example, who has a better Thompson and has some stuff as well, has some different armors and whatnot. We can go to Clyde, for example. We could give him, what do we got? Let's give him a grenade. I like the idea of giving Clyde a grenade. And we'll give him, what else have we got? We got the silencer. I want to give the silencer to Daniel there, though. So we'll do that. There's no miscellaneous items that I have at the minute. But you can essentially go through and you can say, you know, for example, hey, I've got some revolvers in storage. Let's give you, you know, a slightly better revolver, or let's give you a Mauser, which I don't hate the idea of. But you can equip them with all these different things. You can upgrade them a bit. R, for example, comes with this gun here, which is it is R's weapon. It is a fantastic weapon, and it is possibly the best weapon that I've seen so far. It is a unique weapon to that character. And if that character leaves my faction, they take that gun with them. Same with all of the guns down here that you can see owned by Maria Rodriguez. If they leave, they take their stuff with them. You don't get to keep it, so you can't really... You know, I think I can go ahead and I can equip this to someone else, but R having it is fine. On the right side of the screen here, you can see their loyalty and their morale and things like that. You get all their various stats on this screen. But you might be thinking, okay, you've got all this stuff. You don't have enough people. Well, I could go ahead and hire a bunch more if I wanted to. I don't really want to do that though. So let's go into the black market vendor. I could buy a sniper. I don't really want to. Gonna go into sell mode and let's just sell some things. So we have an actual Tommy gun. I didn't realize we had an actual Tommy gun. Interesting. We might want to give that to someone. It'd be kind of cool to give them a proper Tommy gun. But what we'll do is we'll sell this right here. We'll go ahead and sell these 3 shotguns. We can go ahead and sell maybe these 2 rifles. We could sell some pistols if we wanted to. There's a lot of different things we can sell, essentially. We can go through and sell, you know, all of these things, get some good money for them, sell some grenades, sell some armor, sell some ammo. Essentially, you can buy and sell things till your heart's content, assuming you have the money or assuming you have the items. You can equip them to your various characters as well. And you can take over Chicago. It takes a little while, but you can certainly do it if you happen to want to. Now, I am curious about one thing. The damage on this Thompson is 18 to 26. The Tommy gun is 16 to 22. It's not as good. But I really like the idea of Daniel having a Tommy gun. A little disappointed that it's not that good, but I love the idea of him having a Tommy gun. Anyway, we're not going to worry too much about that. Let's just go ahead and let's see what we can do. I suppose we could have a look at one more little thing before we start wrapping things up. Diplomacy. Now, diplomacy is a lot more interesting when there's a lot of factions to deal with. At the minute, we've got all these generic factions that we want to take out at some point. But we also have the Jenna crime family who don't like me very much. Now, the reason they don't like me is because I'm better than them, quite frankly, and I own a bunch more things. For example, where they own 2 safe houses, I own 3. Where they have 5 speakeasies, I have 31. Where they have no hotels, I have 1. Where they have 6 casinos, I have 19. Where they have 3 breweries, I have 12. And where they have 8 brothels, I have 15. I'm also a lot more notorious than their leader is. In fact, almost over 3 times as notorious. The point being that we could go into diplomacy, we can cancel some orders, make some arrangements. We can't really declare war on them right now because we have a defense agreement. I could tribute if I wanted to. They would certainly take it. I could ask them to kill someone, which I don't really, you know, they're not going to do it for me. They don't like me, but I could ask them to do that. But this is, again, you know, there's a bit of diplomacy there. The police, for example, I could bribe them, you know, I could ask for protection. I could ask them to turn a blind eye. I suppose to conclude things, I mean, what can I really say? It's a turn-based strategy game with a very, very interesting setting. It is not a game that I suspected I was going to absolutely adore. But completely truthfully, I cannot put this thing down. I am absolutely adoring it. I'm absolutely enjoying every moment with it. And I'm looking forward to wrapping up my current campaign with Daniel here and then diving into a higher difficulty campaign with a different boss at some point. I'm just kind of keen to see, you know, what I can do. I'm keen to see where things go. I'm keen to see where this game might be in a year or 2. We all know we know that Paradox and DLC go hand in hand, so I can only assume that this might have some expansions with more more bosses or updated rackets. I don't know. I'm completely theorizing, and I probably shouldn't because I don't know if any of that would be a thing. But I am keen to try a bunch of different strategies. You know, with Daniel here, I've been pretty straightforward in just using essentially just speakeasies and breweries. I'd love to set myself a challenge of maybe trying to make a bunch of money with only casinos. You know, I think there's room to experiment with this game, and I'm really keen to do that. Because like I said, I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I have. And part of that is because I didn't really enjoy XCOM as much as I hoped I would enjoy XCOM. Now, you might be wondering what I'm doing here. Just setting up Overwatch, because once this guard moves, he might have a really bad time. There it is. Yeah, it sucks to be that guy. All right, well. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. All right, let's see. Can we finish him off? Is R going to be able to do it? R is not going to be able to do it. Okay, let's just set up Overwatch again. Just nice and quick. You're not able to do it either. Can you throw a knife at him? 45%. Come on, don't miss. Don't miss. And you missed. All right, well, it was worth a try, I guess. Let's do Overwatch again. Let's see. We got a grenade. Let's use a grenade to finish him off. That's going to injure Daniel if I do that, though. You know what? Sure. Why not? Let's just do the grenade. There it is. All right. There we go. Job done. Got a bit of money. And this is now going to be mine, I guess. We'll make it a casino or something like that. The Diamond Helix. It was a casino. It might as well stay a casino. Job done. This is mine. Let's get out of here. So yeah, there's not really much more to say at this point. Like I said, I am enjoying this a lot more than I thought I would enjoy a turn-based strategy game. Also, there's a skill tree. I should have probably mentioned that, but there is a skill tree. Good. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would enjoy a turn-based strategy game that is entirely based on the turn-based strategy games that I've played in recent years. I was a really big fan of games like this when I was growing up. I fell out of favor with them as I, you know, played the likes of Minecraft and, you know, many years later got into City Skylines and various other creatively oriented games. Interesting. The Jenna crime family has declared war on me. Well, fair enough. That's going to make for an interesting episode 9 of the Let's Play that we're doing. That's a thing that they've done. Okay. Well, I should probably deal with that, is what I should probably do. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this video. Paradox, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. If y'all watching want to check out Empire of Sin, there will be a link in the video description below. I highly recommend it personally. I've had a lot of fun with it. 16 hours so far, plus, you know, maybe give or take an hour or two with this video and the next episode of the Let's Play. So let's say 20-something hours by the time I get done with this particular run with Daniel McKee Jackson. And then I'll be straight into another one after that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. It's been my absolute pleasure. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.